Good, sir.
Good.
Okay, great. So we'll start with a very crisp introduction for each one of you. Just introduce yourselves as people and not as CVs or profiles. We want to know the person in you. And then please tell us about your biggest failures, because I'm sure you have had many. Tell us the biggest failure in your life.
Okay, so may I go first?
Sure, go ahead.
So my name is Aishwarya Chandak. I come from a small town of Malkapur. It's in Maharashtra. And I've completed my schooling over there only. And I was very active in my academics as well as extracurriculars throughout my school. Then moving on to my graduation, I was very keen about being actively participating multiple positions of responsibilities. So I've taken many leadership responsibilities. I was deputy secretary of my college's social responsibility team, for which I have organized and led team of the entire juniors, seniors, everything for multiple events throughout the term. And also on individual level, I have contributed to CACR, which is Citizens Association for Child Rights, where
we have read all of that on your form. We want to know you as a person.
So as a person, I would say I'm very much interested. I'm a technology enthusiast as well as management enthusiast. So during my employment also, I used to enjoy certain parts of my job a lot, which was interacting with multiple stakeholders and not only gathering information with respect to technical errors, but as well as what improvements they would want from my process to ease out their work. And I have also done work on those lines.
Aishwarya, since we're trying to understand you as a person, you mentioned some parts you liked. What are the parts you didn't like and why?
So at times, the part of my job was also making my clients understand some technical jobs they would have to do. So most of my clients were from finance, legal, and operations background, and making them understand the technical parts which they have to do. And they used to be very wary about it because they don't want anything to go wrong with their systems. So that part used to be very challenging for me to tell them that, okay, what I'm saying, I know what I'm doing and you can really trust me on this. So that part took time, but over the line I built that rapport with my users and my clients. And so initially that was the tough part.
Okay, interesting. But would you want to put it as something that you didn't like to do in your job?
Not really, but it was real. Some part of it was irritating for me when I started off because I could not understand their perspective. But when I interacted with my senior members in the team, my manager, and they helped me realize that what exactly I have to do while dealing with these things. So, yeah.
Interesting. Gurjot, what about you? How would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, sir. My name is Gurjot and I come from Malod. It's a very small town in Punjab on the borders. And I did my schooling there only. During my initial years, I was too much into academics. But when I started exploring my other side, and during my college, during my school only, I was appointed as the head boy of my school. This was my first stint on the leadership role. So then I came to know that I should explore more about this. During my college also, I explored various sides of me. I have been an active member of various societies. I was a publicity mentor of in the college fest and also executive member in the hostel committee. So plus,
great. We have gone through all of that in your form. If we take out the career from Gurjot, who really is Gurjot? Talk to us about that.
Yes, sir. I am someone who who likes to explore new things. I've always been curious about learning new skills and been implementing them and executing them for the better of me.
Can you explain one of those?
Also, during my yes, like during my internship.
Let's not talk about career.
So I've been active cricket player also. As during my free time I play cricket. So when initially I went to learn cricket during my initial years, during 13 or 14, when I was 13 or 14. So initially when I went there, my coach didn't allow me to play for a few days. So he just made me go make some rounds of the track and do just physical exercise. So I was very irritated by that, because I thought that I came here to play cricket, but I'm not getting a chance to play it. So after a few days, when I got to play cricket, my physical fitness was very good. I didn't get fatigue. My technique was also improved. So there I learned that before doing something, you need to learn the skills behind it. So that was one of the experience which is based on this.
Okay. Tanisha, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name is Tanisha Chadha. I am born and brought up in Mumbai. As a person, I would say that I've always believed one of my strongest things is that I'm a great multitasker. For a very long period of time, I did my CA articleship, my graduation, and prepping for my CA final at the same time. And this taught me how to manage my time very well. So I ended up becoming a lot more efficient in that sense. I would organize my time well. I would ensure that I'm paying more attention in class. Also, I think I've become very detail oriented because I have a background of fraud investigation. So we were used to like seeing very minute points, going through so many mails, finding out very small details. So I think that is something which has made me very meticulous and very detail oriented.
Okay, interesting. So you were into fraud investigations. You have any opinions on the new Netflix show that has come on Bad Boy Billionaires and that is showing the frauds that has been done by Mr. Modi, Mr. Malia? What's your opinion on these issues?
So I think it's in one way they are presenting the facts. They are making people aware of what is happening what has happened in the country, so that they are careful in the future. But at the same time, I do feel there is some sense of glorification that they are being presented. A lot of people look up to them and look and see that, oh my God, what style, or I want to be like this person, or he was so smart. So I think there are mixed opinions on both of them.
Okay. Just based on what you said, I just have one more question. You told that it's making people aware. There are two things in fraud. Like once the fraud is being done or it's being committed, internally people are also aware of the fraud and they are taking part in it, right? So where do you think that misbalance in ethics happens based on your experience? Like, why do you think that misbalance in ethics happen and people support these fraudulent activities internally in organizations?
So, what I have seen from my experience is that at times it is for personal gains. And when it's not for personal gains, sometimes it can be for the gain of the company as a whole. Sometimes you know that, okay, this is not allowed, but it is bringing the company business. The company may shut down if this continues. If this doesn't continue, the company may shut down. So that is why the top management gives the orders to do it and the employees just continue doing it.
Okay, so Simranjeet, would you take part in a fraudulent activity to gain $500 million in revenue for your company, or will you be a person who will give up on that particular contract, leading to additional 10% loss in your bottom line? What would you do?
So the bottom line in the corporate sector would be ethics and integrity. So I would rather not take part in the fraudulent activity and would rather take a 10% loss rather than engaging into those activities which are considered as fraudulent.
Okay. Don't you think, Suchet, that as managers, our work is, overall to bring about satisfaction to our stakeholders, and Simranjeet is bringing about 10% loss. So as a stakeholder, do you think his decision is justified for the company? Because Tanisha said, based on her experience, people do that for overall gain of the company. What would you feel as a stakeholder?
As a stakeholder, my personal opinion is to always stick to the ethics and not think about the overall loss and profit. But and as a manager, everyone should do that. So that's my personal opinion. So it doesn't matter at the end. It doesn't matter about the money. So it's how we stick to our like our values and our ethics. So that's what I
Suchit,
think.
what is ethics? Can you define ethics in your way?
Well, ethics for me is this the activities or some it's the activities which will benefit ourselves and for the society. So it's something that will be beneficial for the all, and not some wrong that for a personal gains or for any personal like personal ambitions we should do something wrong. So the ethics is a part of that.
Gurjot, do you agree to his views on ethics?
Sir, I think ethics is like basically following set of rules, versus breaking the rules. So for me, I've always tried to keep my conscience clear and to work with integrity. So I will never break my ethics, but I will never break my conscience and will lead, even if it leads to loss, because I can cover up the loss in a few times. But if I get down in my head, in my heart, so I can't overcome that. So for
Those are
me,
your
integrity
morals,
and
right? Then those are your morals. They are not really your ethics. You're talking about morals, not ethics. What's your
yes,
opinion?
sir, because morals, personally for me, morals on a personal level will also help me in maintaining the integrity of the company, the ethics and the rules of the company. So if I'm moral, then only I can follow the ethics. If I don't have a clear conscience, I have that thing to cross the line, then I'll definitely break the rules, and that will lead to some detrimental effects.
Okay, fine. We didn't get to know Suchet a lot. Suchet, without getting into your profile, really, who are you as a person?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Suchet Chetan Borule, and I'm from Bhusawal, which is a small city in Maharashtra. So I did my schooling there only, and then joined VJTI in Mumbai. After that, I went to work with Lora Group as a design engineer. And as a person, I'm known as a versatile and responsible person among my family and friends. So I really like to try various things and really like to do various things. Like I'm an active social worker. I also like to, I'm also in a sports, so to develop my overall personality. And again, I like to manage people. I like to talk to people. So that's it about.
Okay.
And
Suchet, I found something very interesting on your form. You mentioned something called the harmonic filter, which you designed at your organization,
yeah,
right? Just assume that I'm a class 3 student. Can you explain a harmonic filter to me?
yes. So for a class 3 person, okay. So harmonic filter is basically a filter, like how we.
I'm not interested in listening. I'm a class 3 student. I don't want to really listen to the definition of a harmonic filter. I mean,
No, I'm not trying to impose a definition on you. I'm just saying like how. Suppose there is a glass of water with various impurities in it. So what we do that we take a filter paper and take pour a glass of water into it. So in the end we get a pure water for somewhat percent. It doesn't matter. But on a filter we get something which is not wanted. So harmonic filter is like that. So the impurities which can be described as a harmonic waves, which is getting filtered through our
I don't
current.
really know what harmonic waves are.
No, it's just analogy for explaining.
Anyway, okay. But yeah, it's not really clear to me, if I think of it from a class 3 student perspective.
In fact, Soumya sir, as a long-time professor, it's not clear to me too. So, not being very articulate with Suchet, but no problem. One interesting thing, Soumya sir, is definitely that we have a very ethical group looking to work in the Indian business environment.
Exactly.
Not sure how much we want to train them at SPJIMR, but let's hope they are able to convince us. So Tanisha, something very interesting. Okay, I mentioned about the Indian business environment, and you are a person who does not like to work with people who do not maintain a proper track of their work. So my first question to you is, who do you want to be after SPJMR? Where do you see yourself right after SP?
If I look at my career goals, in the long term, I see myself in a top
No,
management.
Tanisha, the question is right after SP, the day you step up.
Right after SP, I would see myself as a banking analyst in a reputed bank.
Banking analyst. What banking? Are you talking about corporate banking? Are you talking about investment banking, private equity? Where do you see yourself? Which company? You must have read about our placement report.
Correct.
So which one is it?
So I'm keen on something like investment banking, so probably a Nomura.
Nomura Investment Banking. Have you seen our report this year?
No, sir.
Okay, you must have seen the reports in the past, and I'm sure you spoke to some alumni. Do you know which role Nomura hires at SP? Okay, interesting. So let's say you are an investment banker, okay, and you are doing an M&A deal for a big time startup who's looking to acquire a business in, let's say, the Middle East, right? Two very different cultures, people who do not maintain that line of work, because the way we work in the MENA region and the way we work in the Southeastern region is completely different. And you being a person who's completely alone on that deal, as you know, investment banking teams are very small, and you don't like to work with people who maintain a proper track of work. How are you going to manage that deal? You can take a minute. No, not problem. You can take a minute. Till then, if Simranjeet and Gurjot, being finance aspirants, if you also have opinions, even you can share the same. The floor is open.
So if you don't mind, can I?
Sure, please. This is a conversation, not an interview. Please go ahead.
So I have a work history with Nomura. I was a technical analyst with Nomura for 2 years, and there, yes, this disparity is there that we have to deal with Japanese side and as well as Western side, and there we were also trained to how to handle both the sides, because one is they have very to the point approach. Their meetings are also very crisp, and Japanese clients, they are completely different. Like they need some interaction, they have to build some repo before it. So but over the 2 years of my work experience, I've realized that once you build that repo with people, they do get friendly. It doesn't matter which side you're working on. So I would say that it doesn't matter which side, like west or east, you have to build that rapport with your clients, and then you can obviously have that friendly relationship ahead.
Aishwarya, I just have one question. Building rapport with clients, as you earlier mentioned, for any type of work is irritating. What if that rapport is not built up? Will you still find it irritating over time? And how will that affect your job?
So it won't affect my job, because it is not in my hand to pick and choose which people I'm going to work with. That's for sure, for every part of for all the part of our careers or even graduation. But down the line we have to work things out, and we need to understand which are their points, which they are comfortable with, and what I am comfortable with, and we can just work on the task, maybe rather than thinking about all these aspects, because getting the things done is the primary goal of both the parties.
Soumya sir, after you.
Yeah, Aishwarya, I was reading about your work experience, something that's very interesting. Can you explain to me, in very simple and short terms, as to what was it that you were really doing at Nomura?
Yeah, so for initial 1 year of my job was I was working as full stack developer. So my first project was building an employment engagement application, so that everybody at Nomura can go and read on what is happening on the technical innovation fronts. So I was working firstly on that, and then moving on, I built a management reporting portal for upper management to track track all the fintech initiatives that were happening in fintech department of Nomura with respect to multiple startups they were collaborating with. And later on, after fulfillment of these two projects, I was part of robotic process automation team at Nomura, and there I was working as a production services analyst. So my primary job was maintaining and also enhancing the processes across the organization. Like we had around 106 processes on board our team, which were in different, be it compliance, HR, operations, finance, and legal, as well as technology. So what we were doing is we were automating the processes which were very rule-based and which were like they happen on regular interval, or which doesn't require a lot of human intervention. Like a robot, after feeding rules to it, you can get it done. So
sounds very interesting. So
yeah.
were you happy with the job? Were you happy with what you were doing?
So initially, yes, I was very happy. But then after a point of time, I got very, I felt like I'm settling down, and I just felt that I need to know more on other lines also. Like there were other roles in my team, which were BAs and also who were onboarding the clients, like how do they approach and get new projects on board. So those parts were really fascinating for me. And so I spoke to my managers and other people on the team, and the requirement to jump into those roles was either you have a certain level of experience, which I agree, and also the other part was I was also working with some MBA graduates, so they were doing all those things. So I felt like this is the right time for me when I can take a leap of faith and go for an MBA education, and that's what motivated me to jump into it.
What were the things that you did not like about the MBA graduates you were working with?
Sometimes they are very stubborn, I would say, but yeah, but they are very good at articulating the thoughts. They are very logical at putting their points. So sometimes it gets difficult for other people to really counter it. But yeah, I feel it's difficult to convince on if something is not according to their viewpoint.
Okay. So you mean that MBAs are stubborn people, and you are coming to SPJMR to
Yes.
develop that quality, to be stubborn?
Sir, I feel that I'm stubborn myself.
Do you think it's a good quality to have?
So decision making, I think being stubborn is all about taking decisions, and you have to take decisions if you want to move ahead in life and get things done. And I don't really think that some decisions are wrong or some right. You have to take decisions according to the situation, and if something goes wrong around the way, then you can also always mend things along the way.
Okay, it seems like you worked a lot, in the technology space. Now, this is something that I have been wondering about. Can you explain to me the difference between digitization and digitalization? Is there a difference at all, or is it only a jargon?
So to get confused easily between the two, so digitization is basically taking normal things from your life and putting it into some giving it digital perspective, and digitization is actually
Can you explain it with an example? Let's not get into definitions.
Okay. I would give example of RPA only. So a lot of processes which were there, a lot of FTEs were being used to complete those processes. And what we did was we found out a lot of process. The management side, they were able to figure out a lot of processes which can be automated. So now automation is, you can say, digitization of those manual work, because the robots are taking care of things now.
Okay. And what would digitalization be then?
Digitalization, you can say the example of online banking. Most of your work is being done on online portals now. You don't have to even visit banks to open your accounts. So that will come under digitalization.
Okay, great. Tanisha, she was just talking about online banking. The banking penetration, I mean, the online banking penetration is in India is really less. If you were given, if your first project was to develop a strategy to increase the use of internet banking in India, how would you go forward?
So I think the first thing I would try to do is probably build more trust in the online banking system. Most people, especially our older generation, yet prefer to go to banks to get their things done. They don't prefer to do it online. So I think the first thing would be to get more trust into the public that the online banking sector is safe and they can safely use it.
And then what else? Anyone can also join in. You guys are from finance, someone is from operations. Maybe you can bring in points about how you would operationalize the strategy.
May I answer this question?
Sure, go ahead.
For online banking, I think it's more to educate people. That's a necessity in the India, because most of people don't know the gadgets and how to process the things. Even in the banks, most of people don't know how to fill a form.
That's right. Let's say you were supposed to come up with a operational plan to increase the literacy of digital banking. How would you do that? How would you develop that plan? Can you give me 4 broad steps to develop that plan?
First step would be to develop an infrastructure for that, like how the online banking will work and what will be the process of it. Then second will be to target the customers, which we have to educate about it. So we have to teach them like how the gadgets works and how to formulate a simple plan to how to approach them and how to get them to into online banking. Third, we will have to secure a network because there can be the chances of the frauds and etc. So the system should be the secure for that, and that's only I can think of.
Gurjot, do you think there are any gaps in the plan discussed so far?
So first of all, I feel like before developing the infrastructure, we should get that know the target audience, whether we have to increase the penetration in rural areas or urban areas. So for example, if we go to rural areas, so we need to develop the channels, we need to go through the things which is more prevalent in rural areas. Like do they have a good internet connection, and what are the major sources of their knowledge gaining, like from where do they get to know about the things. So after setting that, we should develop an infrastructure regarding it. So for example, if we need some marketing or advertising technique, so we should suppose we talk of a small area, we take a small area and we should do some pilot program in it. We go there and develop a marketing as well as educating policy to develop the trust and also clear the queries of the people.
Interesting viewpoint. Interesting. So, Gurjot, something very interesting about you is that you just graduated in 2020, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I graduated from Thapar University, Patiala.
Okay. And you want to join us at SPJain to do finance, if I'm not wrong. So, very simply, yes, Gurjot, if you don't mind, you can switch off your video because I think you're facing some lag. So, no problem. Please switch off your video. Yeah.
Sure, so thank you.
And now, Gurjot, very simply run me through a DCF. How will you do a DCF analysis?
So sorry, I don't have the knowledge of the valuation techniques.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, let's take it a notch lower. What do you think is a derivative?
So basically, I don't have much knowledge about finance, but during my graduation, I did a small course in corporate finance, which involved financial statements. So that is the basic thing that piqued my interest in finance.
Okay. So you have done corporate finance. So very simply, let's say this. let's say there are two companies, A and B. Okay. But A has debt, but Q doesn't have any debt. So in that case, who will have a higher WACC? I hope you know what is WACC.
Yes, so weighted average cost of capital, I think.
Yes. So who will have a higher weighted average cost of capital when one company has debt and the second company doesn't?
Can I take 1 minute, sir?
Sure, take a minute.
So I think the company A with more debt will have the higher weighted average cost of capital.
Interesting. Okay. Simranjit, do you agree?
Yes, sir, I agree with Gurjot. So the company with higher debt would have to pay higher to get additional capital. So in my opinion, the WACC would be higher for company A.
Simranjit, you worked with JP Morgan for how long?
So for 15 months.
Okay. Shouldn't, as an analyst, you be asking questions about the size of the company, who has more equity? Should you just
Yes,
go
sir.
around making assumptions and coming to an answer?
No, sir. So that was my fault.
Mhm.
I thought if you're comparing A and B, so the general answer would be A with more debt. But you are right. I would should also take account other factors also. That was my fault, sir.
Right. So, Simranjit, do you know something about the cash conversion cycle? Yeah, you must be aware of that, and you also must be aware of companies like Amazon, right, who have a negative cycle.
So I know about Amazon.
Right. So, how are
Yes.
they functioning with negative cash conversion? How is it working? Like traditionally, we know everything should be positive. There should be positive cash flow. So yeah, please go ahead, Simranjit.
Yes, sir. So the valuation of these companies are derived from the number of transactions they made, the number of volume of transactions they made. So the companies like Amazon are having their value based on the revenue they are making in an year. So the number of sales, the amount of revenue they are making, that is the amount of value. That is the factors that we are using for the valuation. So no doubt that the cash conversion cycle is in negative, but the amount of volume they are generating on the site, the amount of sales they are generating, that is their actual valuation.
Okay. Tanisha, just talking about DCF, what do you think should be the appropriate discount rate to be used in an unlevered DCF analysis?
So you would be using the weighted average cost of capital.
Okay, why?
Because so if a company has debt as well as equity, you would see the breakup of the debt and equity because they both would have different weightages probably, as well as they would have different costs. So a cost of equity may be different than your cost of debt. So you cannot just pick up one of them. You would have to take a weighted average of both of them and then discount it back.
Okay. And what's the difference between levered and unlevered beta, Gurjot? Or what is beta and what is alpha in finance?
So beta is a coefficient of from.
Right, go ahead.
Sorry, sir, I don't know the exact thing, but it is a coefficient related to used in valuation for, and it ranges from -1 to +1, but I don't know the exact context of it.
Okay. And Simranjit, when we talk about revenue multiples, how would you like to calculate it? What should be the appropriate numerator for revenue multiples? Should be EBIT, EBITDA, unlevered cash flow, enterprise value. What would be your opinion on this?
So that depends on sector to sector. So for example,
let's go to aviation.
Okay. For aviation, in my opinion, it should be revenue. I'm just guessing. I have no idea about that.
Even I have no idea. That's why I'm looking for fresh opinions from incoming MBA aspirants. So please share whatever idea you have.
So I think it should be the revenue they are generating.
Okay, why is that? Do you think revenue is the most important lever in the aviation industry?
So I think so, because if the revenue they are generating is from the sales of tickets only, and if the sales of tickets are going down or going up, that would majorly affect the valuation of the company. So in my opinion, it should be revenue only.
Okay. Interesting opinion. Just one last question from Core Finance with Tanisha. What is the difference between equity value and enterprise value?
Equity value would be, so you would take the market price of your share, which is currently going on in the market, and multiply it with the shares that you have, the shares that have been issued. That would be the equity value of your company.
To all types of shareholders or only specific type of shareholders?
No, to all type of shareholders.
Okay.
To equity shareholders.
Common and preferred both?
Yes.
Okay. And enterprise value?
Enterprise value would be the book value of your assets divided by the number of equity shares that are issued.
Okay. Do you have any opinion on enterprise value, Gurjot?
No, sir.
Do you know its formula by any chance?
No, sir, I didn't know its formula.
Can I?
No, that was the question. Soumya, after you.
Yeah, Gurjot, have you come across balance sheets of any company? Have you ever seen one?
No, sir, but I have
Okay, but have you heard about a balance sheet?
Yes, sir.
Why do companies require balance sheets? Why do they have to maintain a balance sheet?
So it is basically a record of our assets and our liabilities. So we come to know at a point in time, what are the assets with the company and what are its liabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And what is
that you have a grocery shop, right?
Yes, sir.
And you go and you buy supplies from a particular supplier. How
Yes,
would
sir.
you sort of book that purchase on your books? I mean, on your balance sheet. How would that show up?
So if I purchase it with cash, then it is kind of my inventory. So I'll put it under my assets. But if I buy it and I don't pay it at that point of time, then it is my account payable and I'll put it in my liabilities.
All right. What are some of the other financial statements which are used by companies?
So there is cash flow statement and income statement.
Okay. And what's the purpose? I mean, why two different statements, income statement and a cash flow statement?
So income statement basically gives us the profit at the end, after revenue and cost, cost and giving the subtracting the depreciation, amortization.
I want to understand the purpose. Why have two different statements? One with the profit, the other with the cash flow.
So the cash flow statement basically just gives us the required liquidity. It gives the liquidity with the company. The amount of liquidity with the company is given through the cash flow. But profit and loss statement, suppose we is counted over a period of time, so it gives us the profit that the company has generated in that period.
Okay, now let's say that which of these two statements gives a better picture of the operations of the company, the income statement or the cash flow statement?
So the cash flow statement, I think, gives the better review because it shows the liquidity of the company. So if the company has more liquidity, then it has a better range to do business.
What are your views on this, Tanisha, on his answer?
So I think it depends on what an individual is trying to see. So a cash flow, the difference between an income statement and a cash flow statement is essentially that a cash flow statement is keeping record of only your cash transactions.
Okay, I think we'll have her back soon. So let me get to you, Suchit.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to me a little bit about what you did at your work?
So my profile was as a design engineer in electrical system. So my role was combine of designing a system where we have a in-house designing, or where we have a consultant. We will try to manage the deliverables from the consultant and have a technical thorough review on the documents or electrical drawings we are getting. Also, there is a coordination with the other stakeholders, so we have a side team on design. So to coordinate with them and to coordinate with other departments like architecture or interior designer. So that was overall my role in the organization.
Okay, now that's good. It seems like you were managing a lot of stakeholders and that too at a very junior level. Do you think that you would be, spending so much of money at SPJMR, you'll finally be going to some Amazon selling shirts?
No, I don't think. Actually, that's the one reason I want to do an MBA, because my job profile required me to manage people and organize the works and deadlines, etc. So I was not able to concentrate more, or I don't know the much knowledge about it. So I was just during my designing, I was concentrating on my technical knowledge, but there were other aspects also. So I was lacking that. So I think the MBA would give me the.
What are some of the aspects that you were lacking, and that kind of drove you to do an MBA? What were those aspects that you think you were lacking at your job?
Yeah. So apart from the technical knowledge, I was I kind of do like there are some examples like the lead time of any material. So so I was not able to consider that when I was doing something or taking a decision. So there were some managerial aspect like delivery schedule. So how to keep the delivery schedule and how to get things done from the consultants or at a site level. So there were some examples.
What is lead time, Suchit?
Lead time is the if we purchase any material, so how much time that material will come to us. So that's the lead time.
Sujit, how is Amazon maintaining the lead times with Prime? You want to do the operation supply chain program at SPJain. I'm sure you're aware of this.
No, I don't know. I don't know much detail about it.
And Soumya sir, I have something very interesting to share about Suchet. He is into secretion of gulmohars as per his form. He is working as a secretary, which is secretion of gulmohars. How are you doing that, Suchet? Because you have written SECRETORY. That means you are responsible for some sort of secretion of gulmohars. Please explain what is that?
I don't remember, but I think I was meant to write as a secretary.
But that is what we have in front of us, and that's the reason we have shortlisted you, because it seemed very interesting. So, are you saying you made an error in your form? Do you identify yourself as a meticulous person? Because you worked in construction, so I assume, and that in the electrical department, one wire is not grounded, a lot of things can happen. Are you meticulous?
No.
You're not meticulous, and you worked in the electrical department of Lodha Group. Soumya sir, बहुत महंगे होते हैं ना उसके flats.
Yeah.
Very doubtful
Do
now.
you think the company would be better off having you at Spjimr than having you at their sites?
Yeah, but the thing is, am I comfortable having him at SPJain? Maybe Suchet का कोई संचेत लिख दे exam में तो क्या हो जाएगा? The admin department will kill us giving him marks.
What is Six Sigma, Suchet? Let's talk about Six Sigma, given the conversation that we are having.
I'm not aware, sir. So,
Have you heard about Six Sigma?
no. I
What have
don't
you
know
heard
too
about
much.
in operations? What is operations and supply chain? What do we teach here?
So in operations, the things like things consist of like operation management, like how we
That's the name of the course. But what do we
yeah.
teach in operations and supply chain?
Okay, so there are points like something I can't remember.
Okay, very simply, Suchet, you know, let's say you're buying steel from Tata Steel Jamshedpur. What all is involved in the supply chain of that particular steel rebar coming from Jamshedpur to, let's say, Khar in Bombay? What all are the logistics aspects, and how would you refine your supply chain?
So I will first take into consideration the transportation from Jamshedpur to Kharghar, and then the place for the deposition of steel, like for where the logistic will fit and where the steel will be stored.
Okay, I think we are done. Okay, we are done. Soumya, are we done?
Yeah, I think I think we'll be good to go. But I just had one question to ask Aishwarya.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, give me your answer in 3 crisp points at max. You're a painter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any similarities between painting and coding?
I think yes.
What
First point would be before starting a painting, you have to really think about what you are going to paint. You have to picturize it, and same goes with the coding. Before writing the code, you need to understand what is it you are trying to code, what is the problem statement, and what is the need of that code. So that will be one thing. So before getting into it, you have to picturize it. You also have to decide on the resources that you're going to need for that. Same goes with the coding. You need backend, you need front end, you need databases. You need to have multiple components of the software development cycle. And third will be after finishing off, like the base is created. After the base is created, you now have to identify the elements that can be made error free, and that goes on with the software development cycle also. You go on with the iterations, and then like first the prototype comes, then you go on with the next prototype, and that's how the product is built. So I think those are the 3 points.
Great, nice. It was great interacting with all of you.
Yeah, good interaction, guys. Before we speak, what do you think? How have you guys done?
Yeah.
Just one by one, I'll tell names. Give me the score you feel you deserve out of 10. Suchet?
6.
Simranjeet?
6.
Aishwarya?
I'll go with 7.5.
Tanisha?
Say 5.5.
Gurjot?
I will go with 6 because I couldn't answer.
No reasons. No reasons. Anisha ma'am, any opinion on the interview? I'm not sure ma'am's here.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am's here. Yeah.
I have been a silent observer for all of you guys, and pretty interesting questions. And Suchet, I think you need to go and check back. That was the biggest highlight, that you have a typo error in your form. Guys, this can make or break your career. We can't afford to make mistakes. So cross check if it is what you had submitted. Please be ready for a good answer for it. Because anybody who picks on a small mistake, you will have to humbly accept your mistake and give a rationale why we made that mistake. Okay, we cannot fake or we cannot say wrong anything, because SPJMR is one place which is very high on ethics. So you cannot say anything which is wrong. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Secondly, I think Soumya and Moinak were very humble and nice with all of you guys. So I would want you all to make sure you all are remembering the quality of questions which was there. They have very politely asked you questions from all the sectors, trying to gauge your knowledge on what you know, what you want to pursue ahead in the streams, which is a very good thing. You would feel comfortable, but you should have realized you all have done a lot of mistakes. I mean, if I ask Moinak and Soumya to highlight each one of you guys, I think a lot of facts and figures itself were wrong. Right? That's a good panelist job to make you not realize that you have done mistakes. ठीक है? तनीषा की रैंकिंग खुद की थोड़ी अच्छी थी, 5.5, not being very positive, that मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा स्कोर कर लिया. Rest all of you guys, I think तुम्हारे पॉइंट्स एक कम कर लो, कम से कम, because तुम्हें और बहुत मेहनत करने की अभी ज़रूरत है. There is not confidence and there has to be more concrete content coming in. All right. Overall, this is what I would want you all to say. Secondly, please have examples ready for everything which you are stating, what you want to say you have done or achieved. Right. So when you are giving some example, like for example, just one instance, Aishwarya, you spoke about painting and the code which is there. Right.
Yeah.
Somehow you had a smile or you kind of had a smirk when you said that. It clearly pointed out to me, I am faking this answer. And what am I saying? It is not coming as genuine, honest answer. If you are not convinced with it, then don't say it. Because I was about to, if I was a panelist, I would have told you, do you think it's a joke that what we are asking you? You cannot have a smirk. There's a very thin line between a smirk and a smile. It's good to have a pleasant smile, but when you're answering, if a smirk comes in, it can piss off any panelist to the extent I can tell you, please walk out of the door. I do not want you. All right. So be very careful and very, very important. Okay. One hygiene factor, Simranjeet, your camera needs to be more stable if your interview process is online. ठीक है, पीछे की लाइट पे ज्यादा फोकस है, आप साइड में बैठोगे, आप ऐसे नहीं बैठोगे कि पीछे लाइट पूरी दिख रही है, आई कांट सी योर फेस. Okay, so we have to make sure small aspects like these do not kill our chances, right? If it is not physical, it is online, theek hai, let it not be a hindrance. Make it your advantage that you're sitting in your comfort zone spot, your favorite spot in the house where you get good network, good everything, and sit there. But be very careful of the fact that I am clearly visible. Okay, my face should be clearly seen. I should have good audio. My voice cannot go up and down, and I don't have any light issues and everything. ठीक है, कैमरा फिक्स कर दो. फोन पे अगर कर रहे हो या लैपटॉप पे, ideally you should be on your laptops. If you're not on that, you're connecting via your phone for whatever reasons, छोटा सा stand ले लो कि you're not holding your phone, that is stable, it stays there. Okay, because you never know whether your interviews are online or offline, as they have not yet announced it. All right, so be prepared for both of them. All right, Moinak and Soumya, you guys can give a feedback.
Sure.
Yeah, Moinak, go ahead. After that, I'll add.
Okay, thank you so much. So guys, firstly, none of you will qualify GI1. Okay, I don't think I will send any one of you ahead to GI2. I'll start one by one. Suchet, firstly, आपको देख के ऐसा लगता है that I don't want you in an MBA program. You look scared. Okay, आप बहुत डरे सहमे से लग रहे हो. Okay, so you need to work on your appearance. You need to show your presence, even though it's a virtual environment. There has to be presence. Okay, आप जैसे बैठे हो ना ऐसे करके, look, I'll tell you how you're looking. ऐसे हुआ. Okay, so that's a no-do. SPJMR is a very, they look at the physical appearance of a person. Like, look at Soumya. He's sitting there like he's a consultant. Right now, he's a consultant. But even 2 years back, he was the same person. When you come to an MBA, we don't teach you a lot of things. We don't groom you to be someone you are not. Who you are, we just refine you. That's about it. So that is a person I don't want to refine. That's one aspect for you. Okay. Second, content wise, please don't give in to errors. You just gave in to errors that you're not meticulous. Just because you made a mistake doesn't change who you are, right? You're an electrical engineer in the Lodha group. You cannot be a non-meticulous person. I even pointed out that time, कि आप earthing का wire गलत कर दोगे. So what? Okay, you lost your candidature then and there. Okay.
Yes.
Secondly, this is an opinion for everyone. आप लोगों को आपके domains के बारे में नहीं पता है. You have absolutely no idea. Being a CA and a JP Morgan person, you answered the debt question wrong. Cost of debt is cheaper than equity, right? ऐसे errors नहीं चलेंगे. Okay. Aishwarya, you were out the second statement you spoke. You were out then and there. How can you say your customers are irritating? What are you becoming in an MBA? You are coming here to maintain customer centricity, to bring about stakeholder upliftment. Stakeholder तभी uplift होगा जब हमारे managers company में पैसा लाएंगे. You on and on went on that customers are irritating. I will make do. I am Queen Victoria. No, you're not. Okay, you're not. So that error is unforgivable. Like you told irritating. Second, I think even Gurjot told irritating. If I'm not wrong, Soumya, right? Gurjot, आप fresher हो, आपने customer से कभी deal नहीं किया, आप उसको irritating बोल दे रहे हो.
I don't remember that.
I think one of you. There was a second person who told the word irritating. I don't remember then who it was. But guys, that is not done. You cannot call the customer irritating. You cannot put that foot in front. You are out then and there. Coming to Gurjot. Gurjot, आपने लिखा है आपको interest है finance में, but unfortunately you have no knowledge of finance at all. I told you that day also, as an engineer to convert finance, it is next to impossible. There are 17, 18 people like Tanisha in your batch. Okay. There are 70 to 18 CAs. I think Soumya's batch has 17 CAs in a batch of 59 or 62 people. Uske baad, there are these BCom people. Uske baad, there are people like Simranjeet and me who are engineers with finance work-ex. Okay. Last में आपको consider किया जाएगा. Soumya के batch में एक लड़की है who is an engineer with IT work-ex in TCS who made it to the batch. Rest, nobody with any sort of irrelevance to the profile is there. So the only way you overcome that irrelevance to SPJMR is by content जो आप में बिल्कुल नहीं. Okay, you have a lot of work to do right now, lots. You need to know what is options, you need to know what is derivatives, you need to know how the trading is done at NSE, BSE, start time, tick, सब कुछ पता होना चाहिए. Sensex कैसे calculate किया जाता है, Nifty कैसे calculate किया जाता है, what is a TCF, cash flow questions आप पूरा गलत कर रहे थे. Okay, if there's a very hard professor sitting over there, and when Soumya commented on the operational aspect, the next question that would have come to income statement में operational cost दिखता है, operational profit निकल के आता है. So now what is the thing? Are we seeing it in the income statement? Are we seeing it in the cash flow statement? You had absolutely no idea what it was. Unfortunately, you're absolutely unprepared for the interview. No prep at all. Okay. Coming to Simranjeet, someone of your stature. Okay. आप कहाँ से किए हैं आपका bachelor's, Simranjeet?
Thapar Institute.
Okay, you're from Thapar, and then
Thapar
you
University.
went ahead and you've been working for a long time with JP Morgan. When I worked as an equity analyst, as I think Aishwarya mentioned, that an MBA is very logical, he's very structured. That structured is tested in the interview itself. We don't make you structured in a B school. We take in structured people, because we will be making you sit for your summers or autumns in the next 3 months. In the case of SPJain, after 15 months, but otherwise in 3 months. We want a structured person then and there. So when I'm asking a question to Gurjot, maybe the level is here. But as soon as I'm asking someone from JP Morgan working in the IB division, the level is here. You cannot make mistakes like blatantly answering. Okay, you have to ask me questions. You have to treat it like a case. आप M&A deals कर रहे हो. It doesn't show. आपने कोई M&A deal किया. You just came up with a random conclusion. And trust me, that is one of the reasons my friend was rejected from Bain & Company. Soumya, that guy was hotlist 1 in the partner round. He was rejected because the partner felt that he is very sudden with his conclusions. He doesn't ask the right questions. So Simranjeet,
traps people fall into.
Yes. So Simranjeet, you very clearly fell into that trap. Okay, ये trap में आपको नहीं गिरना है. Coming to Tanisha, very honestly, you don't have opinions on things. Okay. I really like your presentation. I like your presence. You speak very well. You're very articulate. Okay. But I honestly feel that you don't think. आप में flavor नहीं है. SPJain faculty, he's so creative, right? Somewhere like those guys expect you have a good amount of class participation. What's the whole idea about diversity? कि core engineers से दूर होके ये non engineers आएंगे, they will add flavor to the conversation. ये engineers भी कुछ सीखेंगे, वो अपने technical aspect डालेंगे, class में मजा आएगा. That is the reason he is taking you into the B school. You are absolutely perfect. You have CAs, you have CFAs, but if you're boring, I will not take you. And you gave me that vibe. I took it to a very interesting aspect of, bad boy billionaires. You could have given a lot of things, lot of opinions. आपने कुछ share नहीं किया. Okay. And I really suggest I read your form. It'll be very nice if you speak to your brother, how to bring about the interest in conversations, how to peak things, how to prepare more for finance interviews. Okay. Well, I notice he's from IIMs, so of course he has gone through the thing. So it'll be nice if you go today, have a discussion with him, like what goes on in a B school, how you think I should change myself. Otherwise, everything is fine with you. Your profile, everything, you're very placeable. I think you would be a day zero hire for Goldman Sachs at SPJain. Again, that was one thing you didn't know. In my interview, I was specifically asked which company you want to go, which role, why do you want to go into that role? Now, if you're not able to answer which company, okay, and I know why you answered Nomura, because your brother's over there. But you need to know if that same role is coming over here. It doesn't. The market's role is only for IIM Calcutta, not for SPJain. Okay, they're very different things. So you really need to be updated on these things. तभी conversation आगे बढ़ेगा. आप लोग अगर first में bore कर दोगे, मैं आपके साथ converse नहीं करूँगा. And trust me, the SPJain conversion is, I think, 1:6 or 7 for GI1, and GI2 is 1:4, if I'm not wrong. Soumya might be able to shed more light. And one last topic. Yeah, please.
But it's lower for GI1, definitely.
It's very low. I think 2,500 calls per specialization, if I'm not wrong.
Around 3,000. That's what I heard last year.
Yes. Even I heard the same. So 3,000 calls, guys, for 60 seats. Right? Suchet, मैंने आपको last में पता है क्यों रोक दिया था? You don't have listening skills. I told the house is in Khar. You told Khargar. How? इससे मैंने आपको रोक दिया.
Yeah, I get it.
Right. So lot of hygiene factors are missing. Content is missing. Confidence is missing. Okay. Why MBA का तो एकदम we did not feel the need to ask you why MBA, because we were not convinced that you are here for MBA or you have any interest. I think Aishwarya showed some amount of interest, but she killed it with the customer centricity bit. Aishwarya, having so much work ex, if you're having that opinion, no B school will take you. No one. No matter what the person.
Actually, I felt that when I spoke about, when I uttered irritating, that time only I felt in my mind that, oh shit, I have uttered something wrong.
Yes. The words, informal words, guys, you have to avoid. Okay, irritating is not the word you put forward. Okay, Tanisha, you're definitely going to be grilled on, people who are not structured. Trust me, in finance, nobody's structured. Nobody at all. Especially, and if it's a harder faculty, he'll just bring in things like you will work with the Indian bureaucracy. They're the most unstructured, I don't know what, in the country. How will you work with them? Okay. Now up to Soumya.
Yeah. Fine. So I'll start with Gurjot. See, all the points that we are mentioning. I mean, we have mentioned the negatives first, and I'll also keep it that way. Because that's what we need to work on. Okay, Gurjot, as Moinak said, I'll not spend much time on it. Prepare your basics, right? If there are two subjects that you did, corporate finance and accounting, if I'm right.
No, so just corporate finance.
Okay, just corporate finance. Yes. Then please brush up the basics, right? I think Moinak asked you, pretty basic questions. You should have answered them. So if you are not able to answer these, consider yourself rejected in GI1. Okay. Having said that, I think some of the other things are you could also try speaking slowly if your connection is not great. Okay, that is just one way you can. I mean, you can't improve the connection, but if that is the case, please do speak slowly. Okay. For some people, it might be irritating on the other side. to have a person speak very fast when the connection is also not good, right? I think other points were made by Moinak, so pretty much similar points from my side. Whenever you're giving an answer, don't try to get to the point as fast as, don't try to, finish your answer as fast as possible. Have a plan to your answer before you speak. Take those 2 or 3 seconds, even before saying, no, I don't know anything about it. If you do know something about it, give it a try. If you don't know, fine, it's good to say that I don't know, but give it a try. Okay, we asked you quite a few things, and I think we asked you 4 or 5 questions towards the end, and I think on at least 3 of those you directly said that I don't know. They were very basic questions. You would have given a try. Okay, when you're seeing that questions are coming to you completely out of your knowledge area, please do give it a try. Okay, completely don't just let it go. Tanisha, I liked your communication. Okay, you are very, the way you present yourself when you're answering is good. Keep that alive. Leverage that. Don't forget to smile in an interview, and this is for all of you. Okay, it's difficult to smile on a camera. I know that, but please do practice that, because ultimately you are interacting with people. I can only see your face. That's what I get to know about Tanisha. That's what I get to know about Simranjeet. Okay. Uh, Please do smile in the interview. It shows a certain bit of confidence. Okay. As far as subject preparation is concerned, I think I'll not compare among all of you, but all 3 of you do need preparation on the basics of your specialization subject. Okay, so please get that done. Simranjeet, similar points for you. Your communication was very crisp. You knew what you were saying, but definitely I think Moinak would have made a better point regarding your preparation, because the expectations from you would be higher given that you have worked at an investment bank, right? And your role was also relevant. So expect top-notch questions on finance definitely in your interviews. Okay, so prepare as much as you can on those. I think your communication is pretty much in line. One blanket point for all of you, SP is known for asking these, very different kind of questions like, talk to me about the person in you, and questions of that kind. We kind of gave you that question. Please don't start talking about your profiles when we ask that. Really talk about what you are passionate about. Academics is just one of the things you do at a B school. Please talk, what you're passionate about. And believe me, the professors are really interested to strike a conversation on those points, if you actually, make such points in the interview. Aishwarya, shows that you know what you are working on. Try to practice, explaining complex things in a very simple way. This goes for all of you. In MBA, that's really, really necessary. I understand you are doing a lot of tech heavy stuff, okay? But please try to make things simple for the interviewer, because that person, may be a PhD in spirituality, okay? And that person is going to take a decision on your GI1. Understood? So have that, simple way of explaining things. Apart from that, just one point which I also noted down for you. Yeah, some of the answers you gave, it was very evident that you had learned them, okay? And you were giving me learned answers. You had completely mucked up those. Don't do that, okay? Even if you have mucked up some certain answers, like talk to me about yourself. Please practice that in a conversational way. Thirdly, when it comes to your specialization, IIM, be very thorough with all the jargons and terms which are there in the tech space now. Okay, AI, machine learning, you should not be faffing about them. You should be able to explain them with simple examples. What is the difference between AI, ML? Okay, things like that. I didn't get to ask you all of those because of time, but you will be asked questions on those areas. Suchet, I don't know if this is maybe a bad day for you, but you seem really worried, and you seem to be sad that you have got a call at SPJMR. Okay, I know I know that may not be the case, but one thing that you should try to do is use your hands. Okay, you are not really using your hands while you are answering, and I think you are at a comfortable distance from the camera where you can use your hands. Please do use your hands. You're not using them, and because of that, it seems like Suchet is very less on, low on energy. That should not be the case. I think the second reason why you were low on energy is because you know you are not prepared. Okay,
Yeah,
you are not
yeah,
prepared
I
on
admit it.
do an MBA. You are not prepared on why you want to do operations in supply chain. You are not prepared on what operations in supply chain is. Okay, so I think you are at ground zero now regarding preparation, regarding your specialization. Why do you want to do that? What are your aspirational companies? I mean, Moinak asked you something about Amazon. That should have been a very easy answer for you. Please do read up on the operations of these big companies, right?
Yes.
Prepare on your spec questions, and you really need to work hard on your tech part and also on your communication, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's all from my side, Moinak and Anisha ma'am.
Yeah. So overall, guys, I'll just tell you what you need to do today. Okay. Go to the Spjimr site, study the curriculum. Okay. Study what is op supply chain, study what is IM, what is taught in finance, right? After that, basics need to be covered. It's very simple. If you just, simply Google basics of operations and supply chain, basics of finance, a lot of things will come up. Spend time. You really need to spend time on that. Read, okay, read a lot, develop opinions. That is very important. Read on the SPJMR values. One of the things I pointed Aishwarya out on, SPJMR focus a lot on the collaborative environment. Okay. And same thing for Tanisha, when you have mentioned that, you don't like to work with people who are not structured, you're not showing a very collaborative side of yourself. SPJMR is all about entrepreneurial mindset, agility, flexibility, collaborative culture. That is what that's what I told in the previous meeting also. You guys need to understand the SPJMR values. You guys need to understand what that purple color means. You need to understand what the 5 orange line means. Everything matters. That is why SP is taking a psychometric interview. Okay. And trust me, I don't know who else has what on the call, but I would honestly rate SPJMR as one of the top 6 campuses in the country. No matter who says what, like I have spent my good amount of time in placement controls, so I'm aware of the realistic situations of all B schools. SP is a place you want to be. So please put in all the time you have to convert this call. Okay, especially Tanisha, Simranjeet. I mean, like, आप दोनों को अगर finance में मुझे बहुत बुरा लगेगा. You guys are the finance guys they want to take. In fact, Gurjot and me are the kind of people they don't want to take. Okay, so we guys have to push it in and go all out in the interviews. I don't know if you heard me the other day, but Simranjeet, you have interviewed at the level I had. Okay, we went into derivative trading, we went into Brent futures. How the trading is done. Interest rate swaps पे भी गए थे. They will go into exotic instruments. You have to know about that. No bolna is not an option for you. No bolna is an option for
I do derivative trading.
Perfect. You have to take it in that. You have to take it there.
Yeah.
It'll be up to you. When it comes to investment banking, let's say you're stuck, your answer will be, so my exposure to investment banking has only been for the 3 months where I have worked on due diligence. I've spent 12 months of my time into derivative trading, blah, 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 whatever you have done. Maybe you traded bananas in the Brazilian market, maybe in the Indian market, you were trading in grams, whatever. That's how you bring the conversation to your end. Okay. So these are the beautiful things that turn interviews. Okay, but all these things later. Let's prepare content. Okay, Suchet, lighten up, यार. अभी भी आप बहुत tension में हो. Lighten up, relax. आपका percentile क्या है?
98.35.
Okay, you have any other calls?
Yeah.
What do you have?
TB, LNA.
So इतने सारे calls हैं तो इतने tense क्यों बैठे हो? It's not a do or die. So just a mock interview. Relax. कुछ हुआ यार? Are you sad? Are you upset today?
No, I'm just
anything.
No, I'm just feeling down actually.
Relax.
Medical.
Okay, no issues. I understand. But you have to relax, because trust me, we will give you the leeway. The person sitting on the opposite end won't. When is your first interview?
29th SPJain only.
29th SPJain. ठीक है. उसके बाद ABC वाला सबसे पहला कब है?
They don't actually.
Dates नहीं है ना? Dates
No
नहीं है.
doubt.
ठीक है. No issue. So okay, guys. If anything, you can always connect with Soumya and me over LinkedIn. Okay, we can have a chat there. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Okay, so you guys can drop out. I will have the next group start in.
Soumya, are you in campus?
Yeah, I just returned last month. What about you? You seem to be at home.
Yeah, I am at home. I'll go to Delhi next month. Delhi का हालत थोड़ा खराब.
Great. Last few months at a B school, yeah, that also, I don't think everyone is back on our campus. So
Yeah.
Some of them have dropped out. Go ahead, drop them a message on the waiting room. Let's have them connect soon.
And don't mind me, ma'am and Soumya. I actually have to take a med, so I'm just having some tea.
It's okay, not an issue at all. Manika, just drop on the group for the rest of them to also connect in, no, fast. So
Okay, ma'am. Okay.